SAfm, South Africa's news and information leader.
Top stories: Motlanthe advocates implementation, and Britain and the US condemn North Korea rocket launch. With the news at 1 o'clock, I'm Vignesh Naidu. Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe has emphasized that implementation rather than policies and theory will bring about the economic development that South Africa's big infrastructure drive is aimed at achieving. Motlanthe was speaking at the first meeting of the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Council, PICC, in Gauteng. The PICC is the body tasked with ensuring that government fulfills its commitment to building infrastructure around the country. Motlanthe says the plan is estimated at over 800 billion rands.
One of the key lessons of the past infrastructure programs is the importance of a strong partnership between the three spheres of government. Provinces and local government matter greatly. These spheres are closely connected to service delivery to communities. They are the custodians of financial resources and regulatory responsibilities that need to be aligned with the overall national plan for it to be effective.
Motlanthe says the PICC will be judged by its success in promoting wider partnerships in society, working past the state's capacity constraints and improving overall coordination of departments. Civil organizations are discussing forming a tribunal which will investigate brutality by police officers against communities. Reha Desai of the Democratic Left Front in Gauteng says this is to ensure that the death of Andries Tetane, who was killed during a service delivery protest last year, was not in vain. He's been speaking to the SABC as activities to commemorate Tetane's death are held in the Free State and Johannesburg. Desai explained the idea of a tribunal.
So that's why we've come together to try and mobilize civil society around a platform which doesn't allow killings to take place without them being interrogated, without them being investigated, without some sort of tribunal occurring. And we've been discussing with other formations about forming this tribunal ourselves.
8 people have been rushed to hospital following a gas leak at an office park in the Randburg CBD north of Johannesburg. The building had to be evacuated. NECA 911 spokesperson Jeffrey Wicks.
The building is an office block, a financial institution. Reports indicate a gas leak had overcome nearly 1,000 workers in the building. Paramedics arrived at the scene and initiated an evacuation of the structure. Once all of the injured were assessed, it was ascertained that 8 people would be transported to hospital, 5 of whom in a serious condition. They suffered symptoms of respiratory distress, and it appears that the gas was circulated through the building's ventilation system.
The unavailability of school transport in the Eastern Cape is impacting negatively on the culture of learning in schools, especially in rural areas. One such school is Welindinga High School in Yondo village outside Queenstown, where learners travel close to 26 kilometers a day on foot. Parents in the school governing body are concerned about the high rate of absenteeism and late coming as a result. DA parliamentary leader Lindiwe Mazeboko says the party has decided to embark on a solidarity campaign to experience the long distances travelled by these learners.
Today is that young people are struggling to get to school in order to access the education which is their constitutional right. We know from the last year that the department failed to spend about 28% of its budget, 1.5 billion rand budget that it failed to spend 28% of.
And finally, Britain, the US and other countries have condemned the launch of a rocket in North Korea, saying it's a violation of the UN Security Council. This follows North Korea's admission that the launch of its long-range rocket had failed. The rocket exploded in midair because splashing down in the Yellow Sea of South Korea.